Well, hello, mechanics. Welcome on in to the prequel session of Race Against Qushar. I am your humble, gracious dungeon master, Queen Corby, and I have my co-DM, Krosif, here with me as well. Krosif, you want to say hi?
Nah.
Wow.
What?
um, so before we get started, I do have some announcements. Um, I guess I will start with our sponsors. Our first sponsor of the day is the Barkley Garage. This veteran-owned woodworking company creates homemade wood items sourced in New Mexico. Now available in a new line of Dungeon Mechanics exclusive dice towers, available for order. You can use the promo code MEC25 to get 25% off of these fine dice towers today. And please tell them the Dungeon Mechanics sent you. And unfortunately, we don't have Dungeon Mechanics cornhole boards, sadly.
Yet.
Our next sponsor is Plus One Crafting. If you are needing affordable terrain builds for all your TTRPG needs, Plus One Crafting has you covered. From a wide assortment of tile-based sets, you will be all the rage at your next Dungeons and Dragons session. So please be sure to head on over to the link in the chat and put in your order today. And remember, adventure shouldn't cost a fortune. So, I mean, wouldn't you like to never have to worry about your videos being demonetized again? With our next sponsor over at Epidemic Sound, the Sound Gods have you covered. With over 35,000 tracks and 90,000 sound effects, there's definitely a sound for every mood or occasion. So, like the music you heard in the starting screen, that was Epidemic Sound. Epidemic Sound links to all of your social media accounts such as Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, and more. Just simply click the link below or in the chat and sign up today to get started on your prescription. Unfortunately, gone are the days of subscriber luck and inspiration. I know, much sadness, but don't worry. You'll now be able to gift your channel point rewards to the players or the dungeon master, if you want to like give them some little bit of more power. Um, yes, you should be able to redeem your channel point rewards to the players or dungeon master. But do be careful because they are in a limited amount. And this perk is available to anyone who follows Dungeon Mechanics and has enough mech points. So be sure to be following and listening along. But if for whatever reason you cannot make, this session or any of the lovely other shows that are streamed on this channel, don't worry. You can catch this episode and any other past sessions on the Dungeon Mechanics YouTube page. Simply head on over to the link in the chat and follow along on all the shenanigans. Episodes like this one will be aired on the YouTube channel so that you can watch at your viewing pleasure, in case you do miss the live broadcast. So, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your friendly coffee barista, spread the word. And also, starting this month, once per stream, I cannot speak English today. We could start giving away dice. Viewers only enter explanation point prize to enter in for the running. And at the end of the stream, one winner will be called. Eligible participants must be members of the Discord, so that way we can obtain mailing information. Viewers and members must also be from the US or Canada, excluding Quebec, because of giveaway laws. So I am so sorry, Quebec. But that will be it for announcements. I think some introductions are in order. I think we will go ahead and start off with Laura.
Hello.
Uh,
I am
I'm sorry, go
huh?
ahead.
I am Laura, or Glittering Moon Elf, and my character is Fern, the fearable druid.
God, I love her. Um, Next up, we have our one and only favorable dungeon master, Stax.
Oh, hello. I'm Stax. I am playing Roger, the Hobgoblin Bloodhunter Warlock, with his faithful companion, Remia. She's a little cute little sprite thing. Look at her go.
Just don't irritate her, or she'll take a nice poke at you with her needle there.
Oof.
Tiny but mighty, they say. Um, Next up we have the wonderful Tina. Tina, would you like to introduce yourself and your character?
I am Purple Tina, and I play Rolfer, the Changeling Wizard.
I just feel shenanigans coming on. And
Why is that?
I don't know. I feel it in my dungeon master bones. But last but not least, we have Lance. Lance, you there, buddy?
No, he's not.
Oh no.
Well, we can introduce his stoat.
So we have our lovely stoat friend here who has not have a name yet. At least I don't think he has a name yet.
Believe it is Kimchi.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He said it. Okay. Um but I guess we will have Lance introduce his character at another time. So I guess I will start us off with what happened with our session 0. So our lovely adventurers started off in the city, or no, not the city, the town of Mosswillow, I do believe. I'm just gonna double check my notes right quick. Yes, so they started off in the town of Mosswillow, and they had met up in the Hefty Dragon Inn. We had Tarjeen, the Crystal Dragonborn, who was playing Go Fish in order to win a white stoat friend as a prize. We also had the lovely Fern sitting at the bar, kind of getting a drink of water. We had Rogier kind of sitting off to himself on the side. We had a lovely, charismatic satyr bard who unfortunately could not be here today, be performing at this inn while a certain wizard decided it was a good idea to basically disguise themselves as said satyr and proceed to try and mock him. Our dragonborn friend then decided, well, not decided, but they had won their game of cards, to which his opponent was not very happy that he won, so proceeded to try and punch this dragonborn straight in the face. That did not end well, and the man ended up hurting himself and leaving the bar with his buddies. To which they had called the guard, and the guard was called in. After the guards questioning our lovely adventurers, asking what had happened, um, one of the guards spoke with Tarjin, saying, "Oh, you look like you're able that you can handle yourself. Would you be interested in a job?" Um, and so after Tarjin saying yes, the guard proceeds to tell him that there have been a number of cases of attacks being done by undead creatures. They believe that the source of these attacks are coming from a nearby tomb. They advised Tarjin to get a small party together to possibly go and investigate this tomb, in which obviously they would be compensated for their efforts if they were to find out what the source of this or causing the dead to rise again. So they go to the tomb, they fight off some moving bones, as Tarjin called them. And they eventually, after setting off traps and fighting a horde of undead kobolds and giant skeletal raptors, they do eventually come across a deathlock who was in charge of basically bringing the dead back. And were able to defeat him. So, we will now move over to the battle map. And I think you all were back at room 1, wanting to do some sort of rest. I'm not entirely sure what rest you wanted to do, but what would you all like to do at this point?
So, obviously, you've explored maybe 50% of this dungeon, but you're pretty sure everything is dead in here, so that's good. Or re-dead.
So, do you think we should collect any spoils and be on our way, or?
Yes, I think we should gather whatever we can and back. I'm feeling rather tired after all this.
And did we take what was off of that warlock person?
You did. So the loot that you did get off of this deathlock was, I think it was about 300 gold pieces, a blue looking gem, a silver pearl, a violet garnet, 2 potions, and a wand.
Okay. Well, perhaps taking this back would be to our benefit. I mean, if you need to rest there, we all could probably head back to the inn and just look through all of this stuff together.
Yes, should we report into the guard before we go to the inn?
Yes, I would rather get all of the business stuff taken care of before we rest for the night or day. Unless there's other objections.
I'm fine with going back.
So yeah, we'll start to kind of gather all of the items and things, and then as long as there doesn't look like anything's tracking us, we'll head back to town.
Alrighty.
Oh.
I guess I will move you back to the tavern.
Also, I forgot to mention, Sarah, that the artwork for this campaign is made by the lovely Queen Corvi, and it looks freaking amazing. Look at me, I'm talking right now. Look at me, look. Ooh.
All of it.
Oh
That,
my
like,
gosh.
Fucking like
All
the
of
stoat,
it from
the
scratch,
stoat.
so many hours.
It's fine. All right. So, without much trouble, you Oh, I got a luck! Yay! So
What? That's not how that works.
Oh, that's 100% how it works. Don't you even go there.
We already gave you the compliment.
Somebody is not the DM.
Oh.
Yeah, so you guys leave the tomb without trouble, and you make it back to the tavern. The friendly Goliath barkeeper kind of sees you all walk in and gives you a warm smile. Well, welcome back. Please come take a seat and make yourself comfortable.
Thank you. Do you have a larger table? Probably not crowded by a lot of people.
She kind of moves her gaze over more to the back of the tavern in the far left-hand corner of it. There seems to be a long table with no one sitting at it. You could probably sit over there, if that's to your liking.
Okay, so Rogair will start to move over there with Remia.
And the barkeep, kind of calls out to you, you know, I'll be just over in a second. And she is going to continue, like, quickly wiping down the counters, and things. The atmosphere to the tavern is, quite comforting. There's some soft music playing and just some soft chatter among the, patrons of this tavern. What would you all like to do at this point in time?
Fern is
Oh, sorry.
Fern is just kind of shyly looking around and still trying to adjust to being around all these people that she doesn't really know.
So do you all adventure often? I mean, and Rogair will kind of like look over to Rolfer, who I think, correct me if I'm wrong, still looks like Jackius, the satyr bard, this whole time.
Yeah, it should still be.
Okay. If I remember correctly, you're like a singer or something.
No, I don't do singing.
You don't.
No.
Well, what were you doing earlier before we left?
Making fun of the singer?
Confusion on Rogair's face. Do you not like how you sing? Is that why?
Nah, I'm just trying to cause some mischief. See what would go on.
Roger will like look over to Fern. Do you know what he's talking about?
I don't.
Hmm. Insight check.
Should do perception to see through disguise.
Oof. Am I good at that? We shall find out here shortly.
Oh gosh.
Let's see. Percent.
B
I'm just
versus
gonna roll
spell
on
save
the-
DC.
No, that's performance. I definitely have a +0 to perception. So here we go.
Ooh.
Whopping 3. Nope, I am convinced.
Pretty sure this is the real satyr. Who you
Right.
physically saw sing earlier.
I mean, we've all been there before. Not fully confident in our abilities, but I can assure you your singing was not all unpleasant.
Thank you for that.
Around this time, the Goliath woman comes to the table and kind of takes out a little notepad and quill. Is there anything I can get for you lot today?
I'll just have some more water and perhaps some cheese and bread.
All right, water and cheese and bread. And what about you, darling? Looks over to the satyr.
I'll just take some water, please.
And you, dear, looks over to Roger.
Ale, do you have ale? I mean, ale, and maybe a water for the little one. He'll point at Remia.
Listen, I'm not that tiny.
Oh, Remia, don't be like that.
The barkeep will kind of chuckle nervously. All right. I'll see if I have any glasses that can. Right. It's just walk off. It doesn't take her very long to get all of your drinks, and the cheese and bread, and man, it just seems like a second later she comes back. Here you are. I'm sorry, the smallest glass I have is a shot glass. Will that be alright? Yeah, just put it on the table. Okay.
Remia, manners.
Right. Put it on the table, please.
Better.
This poor barkeep's just like, okay, dear. Puts it on the table. So, how did your job go?
I mean, we're not dead. So, good.
It was very tiring, though.
I see. Well, if you need rooms, I got some rooms upstairs.
How much are rooms?
About a couple silver a room.
Doing the math in his head. Here you are, and he puts down 1 gold. Rooms for everyone. And drinks and food for the night.
Thank you.
Don't mention it.
And the barkeep will kind of nod her head and pocket the coin in her pouch. kind of, set the glasses and food on the table. And so did you figure out what was going on in that tomb?
There was a lot of skeletons and a lot of dangers, hazards. I don't know. It felt like it was created in a way that was not in our benefit to go into in the beginning, or at all. If I had to guess.
That's fair. Did you report into
But-
the guards?
We, I think, tried to go back there, but looked a little bit too busy, so we came here first. It was no big deal.
She kind of raises a brow, but doesn't push the matter.
Definitely
Right.
forgot to stop by the guards.
But yep, she nods and is just like, all right, well, I will leave you to your food and drink. If there's anything else that you will need, please stop off at the bar and let me know.
Thank you.
And she will walk off. If you want, y'all can roll me a perception check.
A 5.
Oh no!
Do you have eyes?
Don't use them, apparently.
15.
17.
There we go. Someone's paying attention.
Oh my gosh! So, Rogier, you're too busy drinking the much needed ale after, fighting all of those moving bones.
Yeah, I've done my work. Other people can be
Overdoses, too.
perceptive.
But Fern and Rolfer, as you are all kind of sitting at the table, I mean, you kind of start overhearing some patrons and their gossip, saying that there's been like a upsurge of spiders in the nearby forests, and that the king, or rumors were saying that the king will be making a decree sometime soon. And there was another patron who was like, I could have sworn I saw a dragon in the ivy forest. But besides that, that's all the rumors that you hear. Kind of muttering about around the patrons of the bar.
So since I don't hear any of that, I'm going to be leaning back in my chair and just sipping from my mug.
Let me take a look at something. Well, at least Remy is more perceptive than you. So as you're drinking your ale there, Remia kind of like pokes you in the head. Hey,
What was that for?
are you like not listening?
I hear you now.
Not what I mean. They're like practically screaming. You're not hearing these people saying all these rumors? More fighting opportunities.
Fighting, you say?
Did I stutter? I think I was speaking common.
Yes, you are speaking. What type of opportunities?
One of them was saying there was like an upsurge of spiders or something. I guess there were like sightings of like a dragon or something in one of the forests. I mean,
Dragon. Those don't exist here, right?
there should be at least one. At least from the stories
Yeah.
I've heard.
Where is that one dragon now?
Beats me?
How about you? Fern, is it?
Yes.
Have you heard any tales about dragons?
What would I would roll a history check, right, to see if she has.
Yes.
$17.
So Fern, you are very familiar with, the tales of the dragon who basically used her power to create a barrier big enough to protect Qushar from the orc hordes that were about to attack Qushar all those years ago, like centuries ago.
Well, I know of one dragon that created the barrier around Qushar to protect it from the orcs centuries ago.
Centuries, you say? But there's not a barrier now, is there?
Unfortunately, Fern, you wouldn't know. No one has actually physically seen the barrier, assuming that the barrier was invisible.
I don't know. I don't think anybody's actually seen the barrier.
Oh, it's one of those. Well, sounds like fairy tale dreams. Things that you tell your children. I personally haven't seen any dragons.
I know dragon.
Actual dragons?
Yes.
I mean,
Are
duh.
you just gonna drink?
She like whispers and Brigida, have you seen him? He looks like a dragon.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the wings and the things.
I have wings.
It's like, I mean, You're just gonna drink his mug.
I will go into open space and I can show you wings.
Where
I
are
feel
you
like-
hiding those wings, big boy?
It is surprise. Haha.
Oh, I like him.
I am not drunk enough for any of this.
But I was also raised by a dragon.
What?
Okay, now you lost me.
Yes. She is very nice dragon. Found me as egg.
Aren't dragons known
Wait.
to be like, rawr, breathe fire, grrr? You see Remia like sharp teeth, like claws out, like grrr.
Only if you sneak into a side cave when they're not looking and steal some of their food. Only did it at least. Never again.
So a dragon raised you.
Yes.
Okay, and where is this dragon?
I remember that.
Yeah, probably. She wouldn't move, from place to place too often.
Yes, it is from insert location here. Haha.
Tarjin, you would remember that she normally kind of hangs out on the ice shores. So, up in the mountains in that general area up north.
Yes, she lives near the freezy breezy water.
Freezy breezy water?
The humans call it something else. I don't remember. If you show me map, I can point.
Rogier, we got a map, right? Didn't I tell you to pick up a map?
You tell me a lot of things, Remia. Whether or not I do them. DM, do I have a map?
You have a map, Rogier.
He goes through his stuff and like starts laying out this map of Qushar. There may be some ale stains here and there.
Oh no.
Let's see. We are looking for freezy breezy. There. And he points at the frozen shores.
Oh, that's way up north.
Yes, we both prefer the colder temperatures.
That looks too cold for my taste.
Yes.
You were raised by dragons,
Yes.
and you're
Dragon.
here now. Dragon. Oh, singular.
Is she like the only dragon around here?
She is the only dragon I have met. I have not met any other dragons. We could go and talk to her if you have time.
I feel like that's not close.
Yeah, that seems like weeks worth of traveling.
It is only few weeks to travel. It's nothing.
Maybe to you.
But that's the fun. That is adventure. Yes. Kimchi, understand? Kimchi, back me up.
Tarjin, roll me a perception check.
Oh no.
Oh my goodness, Tad, if you are touching the fruit of fermentation. And that's his natural one.
Your stoat isn't there.
Kimchi! Stud! Where are you, Stud? And he starts running around looking for him.
So you see Tarjin just start freaking out and looking for his stoat friend.
Little friend who I have named Kimchi.
Tarjin, if you want to roll investigation to see if you can find your little kimchi stoat friend, you are more than welcome to. What was that, Tarjin?
Where is my stat? Is 20, 30, 20.
Okay. You happen to glance over to where the bar is and see Kimchi on the counter, sniffing at a pile of what appears to be cooked meat.
No, Kimchi, no! Scrambling over to Kimchi.
Kimchi is already like starting to dig into this food here, and Tarjin, I'm gonna need you to make an animal handling check.
Kimchi, we do not eat the food that does not belong.
While this chaos is going on, Remia like folds her arms.
I think he might have some screws loose.
There are no screws that are loose. I am just getting stout.
That's one way to put it.
It is 19 for animal handling to control the kimchi.
Okay, so you run up to this stoat and grab it by the scruff of the neck, and you just see its cheeks like full of like chewed up meat.
You are little scaly thorn inside. You are. He looks just like want to pay for the meat because the meat that his kimchi has continued to nibble on.
The barkeep kind of raises a brow. Perhaps you should keep a better eye on your friend.
Tarhin just slides 5 gold over to her. I apologize.
The barkeep's eyes widen a bit. It's just like, look, honey, just keep an eye on your friend. Like, gives the coin back.
Still slides 3 coins to the bartender.
She takes 1 gold coin and slides the other 2 back.
Slides to silver afterwards. I wish to pay for it. Yes.
We have 1 inspo to Fern and a luck point to Rolfer. So while Tarjin and the barkeep are like pushing coins back and forth, Remia looks to Rogier.
So are we gonna like make things dead or what?
I'm perfectly up for killing more things, except preferably things with blood attached to them. Skeletons are just skeletons.
I'm pretty sure spiders have blood.
What do you say?
Well-
The moving bone again.
Oh, moving bones.
But I really think we should probably stop by the guard post to get our, our payment before we do leave.
I mean, we can do that.
Tarhin can fly you there.
Are you really trying to show us your wings?
I
Maybe.
seriously doubt he has wings.
I mean,
Tarhin
Remy,
needs to look at Remy, and then in her head, she just hears, "Yes, I do."
Holds her head.
Ah, get out of my head!
what? I'm not in your head.
No, he was in my head!
His power of brick talking.
Alright. Let's go over what we found from the things, and then we can go to the guards post and tell them that we killed a bunch of the skelly bones.
Ooh! Yeah, I want to see all the gems we got from that dead guy.
Yes, the one whose head conveniently fell from shoulders.
Conveniently.
Conveniently.
Come on, who's got the loot? Lay it out on the table, I want to see.
Okay. I remember correctly. I do not have my paper in front of me. I have found a rod. I had found gold.
Yes, so you guys got like 300 gold pieces worth. You found a purple garnet, here we go. A blue gem, a silver pearl, violet garnet, 2 potions, and a wand. But you have no idea what the potions or the wand do.
Okay, so clearly this is stick of magic kind. Unless someone knows how to do the figure it out spell. I believe they call it identify.
I don't think I have that.
Great shame. As for shiny gems, I do not know how much is worth, but very shiny.
You see Remia kind of fly over and start trying to pick up the pearl. I'm gonna see if she can pick that up.
Remia has made excellent choice. Yes.
So you see Remia like pick up the pearl with a little bit of difficulty, but she's able to hang on to it.
I want this one. This is cute.
You can't just hold on to things, Remia.
Why not?
Well, you have to see if other people want things first.
And they could have. No one said anything, so I took it.
Tarhin is looking at the potion, just kind of looks it back, just what are you, liquid? Are you some kind of alcohol?
Roll me investigation.
This is investigation of 13.
So from what you can tell, it's not alcoholic at all. Like, you cork off the top and take a nice sniff. It actually, it smells actually relatively nice, with like a little hint of cinnamon in one of them.
Oh, it's spicy.
But after kind of investigating the two potions, you can kind of discern they are potions of something. But, again,
Okay,
you don't know what exactly.
They are magic liquids that are in bottles. Do not know what they do. One of them smells like cinnamon. Or do they both smell like cinnamon?
Well, we could maybe give it to your stout. Maybe it's a better owl potion.
I do not. This she is ready for more potion. No, where are you?
Kimchi's just chilling out on your shoulder, Tarjin.
Okay, because I had bought the meat from the lady. I have it in front of me, and we are both munching on it.
What would Fern have to roll to see if she could figure out what the potions are?
Roll me Arcana?
$21.
Okay. Fern, you have grown up with, you know, alchemists in your village and things like that. And you would know, probably, judging by the look and the scent that Tarjin gave you, coming from the potions, you take one look at one of the potions, and you see that one of them is a potion of enlargement. And the other one... Sorry, I'm pulling up my notes here. The other potion, which is kind of like a greenish color almost,
Tastes like pineapple.
you would know that this would probably be a elixir of sneaking.
Keep it away from Kimchi. He is not ready for much power.
I believe one potion is a potion of enlargement and the other is a elixir of sneaking.
You probably should have drank those before.
Use on either the Kimchi or the little winged one. I'm just pointing at Armia.
Did he just say not to give me that?
We can give you the potion of enlargement. And then you will be normal size.
What do you mean by normal size?
She asks with her, like, fists, like, resting on her hips.
I wonder how big you get if you drink.
Remy kind of just rolls her eyes.
Whatever. So, making things dead.
Easy
Hello?
to remain. Oh,
What was that?
hello.
Okay. So Remia, who still has the pearl in her hand, is still holding on to it. She kind of looks at you, Roger.
Can I put this in your bag?
Sure.
And she'll kind of like fly over to your bag and open up your bag and throw it in, closing it.
Remember, it's mine.
Right, I wouldn't want to misthink. So, what is this exactly? Are we, devoiding the town of all of those skeletons, or are we parting ways?
But we have such a story together now.
You
I
mean
mean-
chemistry.
Be happy to help, but I know I also have to watch for my own forest. There's been trouble there
Hello?
as well.
Yes, we hear you.
Forest.
Trouble, you say?
There's been strange things occurring in forest around my home.
Is it close to here?
About how far is her home from Mosswillow?
It's probably about a day's journey.
What a day's journey from here.
Remy, did they say where those spiders were coming from?
I don't recall. All I know is that it was just some forest.
Right. Well, I mean, we could help out your area as well? Question mark?
I mean, what kind of trouble, though? Does it involve us
been-
killing things?
You know, some orcs were seen nearby.
I'm sorry, orcs.
Yes.
Remia starts laughing.
There is
she's-
no way.
Why do you say there is no way?
Orcs haven't been seen in Qushar in years. You know, especially since
Remember-
that barrier's keeping them out.
Members of my village have seen them.
Are you sure maybe they weren't like oversized goblins?
This sounds this has piqued curiosity. Perhaps we must investigate.
All I know is there's definitely trouble. There's been other strange things occurring in the forest. Woods aren't as healthy as they were. Like something strange is happening.
Well, I guess if we get to like kill things.
Looks at Roger.
I mean, orcs have blood, right?
Last I checked.
What
First,
about you over there? I'm sorry.
It's alright.
Looks at Jackie as question mark.
AKA Rolfer.
I was trying to get the mute. It's kind of hard when your cat is pressing against your arm when you're trying to move the mouse.
Oh no!
We're getting Rolfer a pet familiar that's a cat.
I wouldn't mind looking around the forest. Maybe I can find my hometown that I somehow lost it along my adventures.
What do you mean you lost your hometown?
I was just exploring, looking for something to pick on their brain, trying to learn about them, and during my adventure, I completely forgot how to get home.
Aren't like satyrs supposed to be able to know where they're going? Or maybe that was
There's a general
another.
direction.
I could have sworn I read somewhere.
Well, you see, I'm not really a satyr.
You keep saying these things. It's fine if you're a satyr. You don't have to be ashamed of anything.
I know you don't have to be ashamed of who you are.
Here, let me give you a little demonstration. I use my shape change ability to change into, We'll go with Rogier.
Whoa.
What?
Remia, do you see that?
Yeah, who's the real you?
I think it's still me.
Oh, yeah? What's my favorite color?
Purple.
Ah! I don't know, you're looking awful sus there, Mr. Not Rogier. Looks at Rogier.
If I was a real Rogier, then why would I tell you what your favorite color is? That sounds like something the not Rogier would say to try and, convince you.
Oh my goodness, this is very confusing.
Remia kind of just thinks about it for a moment.
Yeah, my brain hurts.
Wait,
So,
simply see which one has the pearl.
I mean, it's in Rogier's backpack that's sitting over there.
Points to the backpack that's next to the table.
there's like a stare off between fake Rogier and Rogier.
The barkeep comes back with more water, and she goes, "Alright, I was wondering if any of you would like some..." And she sees the two Rogiers. "Oh, honey, I didn't know you had a twin."
I didn't either.
Right, well,
Do you really have a twin? As I shape change into the bartender.
Oh no.
the bartender just, blinks. "I'm pretty sure I'm an only child."
Mom, Dad, you have things to talk about.
Right, anyone want any water? 'Cause that's the water down on the table.
Yes.
The true question is, do you want some water?
"Oh, no, honey, I'm fine."
Are you sure? It would be free on the house.
And she just laughs. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Don't take my free water then. I see ya.
The bartender just shakes her head and with a smile and goes back to the bar.
Okay, so from what I've gathered, is that one's forest is in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
We still need to stop off at the guard post to get our pay,
Also correct.
and that one needs to show us wings, apparently.
Points to Tarjine.
If you do not wish to see the wings, I do not need to show.
Oh, I definitely do. Like, how are you hiding those wings under that armor?
It is ancient dragon technique, you know. Yes. And
Um,
very-
What was that, Laura?
After going to the guard post, should we come back here and utilize the rooms that were paid for?
Oh yeah, she did give us rooms, huh? After my buddy Rogier here paid for them, that is.
It was only a gold. I don't know why humanoids have such a connection to money, monetary value.
Have you seen how shiny they are?
But they
I mean, he's shinier.
That is true.
Do those gems come off? She like flies over, starts like grabbing onto one of Tarjine's gems.
Ribia, no.
they're firmly stuck in place.
So, like, do they, like, break off and can grow back? Like, how do these things work?
They are my scales. They function akin to scales.
Okay, well, I don't have scales, so how does that work?
Occasionally I need to molt.
Like a
and-
snake?
Kind of, sort of.
That's nasty.
It's not nasty, it is natural.
That doesn't mean it's not nasty.
You are being very rude. Not mock the humans for their, how they say, puberty.
There, what?
Their puberty. Am I not saying it right?
Is he speaking common?
Puberty.
Yeah, I don't think
Yes.
he's speaking common.
I am
Less,
the comment.
less poo, more pew.
Puberty.
Ah, yeah, there we go.
Such weird word.
Oh my god, I'm dead.
We need the shirt. Less poo, more pew. So, we report to the gods. We come back here, rest. We go to the forest. If any time we find out where you live, and also if you can show us wings and or show us the single dragon that has raised you.
We'd have to travel to go see.
Yes, to the north, which is far.
I am not looking forward to that traveling.
It is not that.
Baby steps. We should probably go talk to the gods.
Mind talking to the keeper, see if maybe I know where my hometown is.
Worth a shot.
If someone were to tell you where your hometown was, would you recognize it? Like, do you know what the name of your hometown is?
Yes, the name of my hometown is nowhere.
What?
Come again?
The name of my town is nowhere.
What kind of a name is that?
I don't know. I just lived there.
You live nowhere.
Yes.
Or live in nowhere. Semantics. I feel like that's such a niche place to know about.
I mean, I've
By
never
the
heard
sounds
of
of
it.
it, I guess you guys have never heard of it, so...
Is it one of those places that if you believe it, you forget it exists?
I mean, I did. So... that is a possibility.
So you would only need someone that's still there to tell us where it is. But the only way that would happen is if we found it. But then we wouldn't need to know where it was, because we would be there.
Sounds like a good observation to me.
That's way better than some barrier you just put up to protect people.
Rogier,
All right.
roll me a perception check.
Oh, I'm not good at those! Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's a 3.
Remian's gone.
What? I don't know. Just boop, gone. Did anybody else see anything?
Yeah, did we see anything?
Y'all can roll perception if you want.
Oh no. I feel like this is going to be like, oh, there's a monster over there. Points Rogier in the right direction and then sends him off.
I got a 12.
24.
Oh.
Yeah, Fern, you notice Remia flying towards the door. Or fluttering towards the door, I should say.
I believe your pixie friend is leaving.
My Remia! Get back here!
I want to get paid. I don't know about you.
I am not a stout chaser. Get back here!
It takes practice.
Rogier will head towards the door towards Remia.
Fern will follow.
So Rogier and Fern head to the door. Roll for Tarjine, what are you up to?
Gonna go ask the keeper if they know anything about nowhere.
Okay. So you head up to the bar and she looks over at you. Ah, hello there, second me. There's something I can help you with.
Yes, I am looking for a town. The town is called Nowhere. Would you by chance know where it is?
She kind of raises a brow with a, curious look. No, I don't think I have ever heard of this town called Nowhere.
Alright. Well, if you hear anything, please let us know.
Absolutely. Tarjine, what are you doing at this time?
Me and the kimchi are finishing our food, and then I will be getting up and getting ready to go and speak to the guards. So I will be walking outside.
Okay, so you're walking with Fern and Rogier as well.
Yes. Especially since the Remia wants to see the wings.
All right. I'll move you guys over to the town map. So you all get outside and Rolfer kind of comes out after you after a bit. And everyone roll me a history check to see if you remember where to remember where the guard post is.
I actually have pluses in this one. 11.
It would be a 2.
I got an 11.
15.
Yep, so you all basically remember where the guard post is. You remember that it's on the south side of town.
I believe we had to stop there before we went into Tomb.
Oh, yeah. Do the guards look happy that we're back so soon?
Hold on, I was pulling up my notes. So you all make it back to the guard post. The same guard from before is sitting at the desk. And the paperwork that he was doing, there's like a big pile of it now, on his desk. And he looks up at you, and yeah, he looks a little shocked.
Hello.
Back.
Hand moving bonds.
That was quick. How did it go?
Yes, we found the thing that was making the bones move, and his head fell off.
Raises a brow. So you killed somebody? Question mark.
There was a mover of bones in the tomb, very spooky, and he was attacking us, and we fought, and then he ran off, and we followed, and his head fell off.
The guard kind of looks to the rest of you.
Just nodding in unison.
I believe he was undead as well.
Yes, he was also one of the moving bones, but also had skin.
So someone used magic to bring these moving bones back from the dead?
Does look that way.
And you took care of that person.
Their head conveniently fell off when they were trying to hide in skeleton of dinosaur.
Right. And he kind of motions one of the other guards over, whispers something in his ear, and the guard that walked over kind of nods and calls over a few other guards, and they kind of head out. I'm gonna have some of my men go to the area to take a look. When they come back, tell me everything looks clear. I will pay you all. So in the meantime, you can take a seat. He kind of like motions his hand over to some chairs. You can take a seat.
I'll sit down.
And we'll also sit.
Yeah, Tarkin will also sit down.
Hey, Tarheen,
I
no reason. Can you roll a perception check for me?
Swear to Christ, kimchi!
What was that roll for? I'm sorry.
I'm going to ask the guards if they can bring back any of the clothes that was on the...
That is 18 to spot the kimchi.
Okay. You were gonna ask the guard.
If they can bring back any of the clothing of the guys we killed for me.
The guard looks at you puzzled. The clothes?
Yes, the clothes.
He kind of raises a brow. Did you go with the previous party to clear out this tomb?
Yes, but I was in a different looking when you last seen me. As I shape change back into Jackius, does this look a little bit more familiar to you?
The guard kind of fumbles back a bit. Right. Never seen that happen before.
Have you seen this happen before as I turn into the guard himself?
He does not look amused in the least. I will have my men see if they can bring back the clothes, but I'm gonna need you to not. He kind of like points his finger up and down at you. Do that.
Alright. I will then go back into Rogier.
Why are you turning back into me?
Why not?
Do you have a neutral look? One that's not directly connected to anyone we can see within 500 feet?
You can
I
see.
do, but I don't like showing that to others.
Right.
Wait. You can see up to 500 feet?
No. I mean, maybe.
Then
Not
why
clearly.
that specific number?
It's just an extraneous amount of feet so that we don't have to be around immediate people that look immediately like themselves.
Then you could have said, like, 50 feet.
Yeah, but I feel like Rolfer would pick 51.
I mean, probably. Well, I guess while we're waiting... Hey, where are your wings?
Hang on, I'm go outside.
But with that 18 perception, Tarjine,
What the
you
fuck?
happen to notice the stoat somehow getting on top of the guard's head without the guard noticing.
Tarhin is concerned, but also Kimchi.
Do any of us notice it?
I mean, yeah, probably. You see this like bright white stoat on the guard's head. And Kimchi's just looking at Tarjine, tilting his head.
Kimchi. Kimchi, come down from there.
And roll me animal handling, Tarjine.
Kimchi, you are little. Oh no, that is 5.
Kimchi just looks at you and like sticks a tongue out.
This time it is in Kimchi's head. Come here.
Kimchi doesn't seem fazed by this.
Kimchi, do not make me come get you.
You just see like his tail kind of flick a bit, his tongue sticking out a bit more.
Tarhin is standing up. Kimchi.
Tarjin, would you like some help?
Kimchi, get the.
Oh no!
Oh.
So Tarjine leaps at Kimchi, and I'm going to roll what Kimchi is going to put. Okay. All right, so Tarjine, I'm gonna have you roll a acrobatics check for me, please.
It's dirty 20.
Unfortunately, your little stoat got to 21.
Oh, you little.
So you see as the guard. This is what happens in the series of events. Tarjin leaps at Kimchi. The guard hears Tarjin like getting up and like moving forward, so he looks. He sees Tarjin like jumping at him, and the little stoat jumps off of the guard's head. And Tarjin, you land on the guard.
I am sorry, God, but I am here to get a start. Kimchi!
Get off of me!
I'm getting off of him. Kimchi, come here.
And you see as this stoat is just like jumping everywhere in this waiting area like a crazy person.
Kimchi.
Tarjin's like knocking over tables, knocking over chairs, trying to get this stoat.
Can Fern put her hand out to the stoat and try to encourage the stoat to calm down?
Roll me animal handling.
27.
So the stoat being, like, scared now that this giant hulking dragonborn's chasing it, sees you with a soft, delicate smile on your face as you extend your hand out, and the stoat kind of, like, scurries around your arm, and kind of, like, gets into your hair and, like, peeks out from, like, your bangs.
Oh dear.
Hello?
Hello! Welcome back, Tarjin.
Still cannot hear you all.
Oh, no. The stoat kind of hangs out in your hair there, Fern. But yeah, it looks very scared of Tarjin at this point in time.
She's just going to keep calmly reassuring it.
While that's happening, the guard is like looks really ticked off as he's like fixing his desk. Like the pile of papers that he had on his desk are now knocked over. And he's just picking him up, stacking him back up, grumbling angrily. And after he gets everything fixed, he looks to you, Fern. Get that thing out of here.
Okay. She'll get up and she'll go wait outside with the stoat. Kimchi.
And I think at this point is where we will take a short break. Yeah. So give us about 5 minutes, and we will be back shortly. And we are back, y'all. All right, so the guard has angrily asked Fern to remove the stoat from his office.
Understandable.
which leaves Rogier, Rolfer, and Tarjeen in the office. The guard will look at you, Tarjeen.
I did help him out.
He kinda just, like, grumbles and looks at you. And are you gonna be causing any trouble?
I am causing no trouble. I am a good boy.
Right. And he kind of like rubs his shoulder a bit from like where one of your gems kind of like hit him when you fell on him.
I will also go outside.
And as you go outside, you do see Fern with your little stoat kind of like curled up in her hand, kind of spazzing like stoats do.
Kimchi.
And as soon as he hears your voice, runs back up her arm and into her hair again.
Kimchi, I am no longer upset. I am calm.
Insight. No, so Stoat kind of like peeks out from Fern's hair.
We must stay out of trouble, Kimchi. Especially while we are in city.
And the Stoat will proceed to turn around and show its butt to you.
I do not know if this is a courtesy of Stoats.
Dear,
But it does not want meat.
She please listen to Georgine.
Darheen also pulls out a small piece of meat and starts nibbling on it.
You see the Stoat kind of like poke his head out straight out of like Fern's hair, sniffing the air, sees the meat, and then proceeds to scurry down Fern, rushing at you, Tarjeen, leaping up and taking a bite out of the piece of meat that's in your hand.
Tarheen pulls it into bits to make it easier for him to eat.
And around this time, you guys do see the guards from earlier returning. And he kind of, one of them gives a like gestural nod to you all before heading back into the office. Rogier and Rolfer, you see the guards walking in. The guard from earlier walking over to who appears to be the captain, and speaks to him. The captain kind of nods his head before turning to the lot of you. Well, it seems what you told me are true. And he will pull out a coin purse. Now, what was it, the price that we agreed on? I think it was like, what, 20 per?
Sure. Is that the DM asking or the guard asking?
It's the DM asking.
Oh, I don't know.
I believe
Think
300 split evenly.
Well, that was the loot that you just found from the tomb, but the guard said he was gonna compensate all of you. I just forgot how much he was gonna pay y'all.
I think it was 150 for the whole group, split between the whole group.
Okay, so that's about
30 per person.
Jackie is again. She.
Wow. Then 37.50.
So the guard will probably give you about 38 gold pieces per.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
Remy is like,
Jackpot!
and Remia kind of floats over to the guard.
You know, I did some work too.
Oh, well, here then. He gives her 38 gold as well.
Oh my goodness.
What exactly did you do again?
I did things, right, Rogier?
Yes, you informed us completely late that the creature that we set free was the creature we probably needed to not set free.
Hey, you know, I did let you know. That's the important part.
Yes. We must work on timing.
But did you die?
Not this particular time, no.
Okay, then I don't see the problem.
The guard kind of like looks at you like, what? Right. Well, if you lot seem capable, if there's any other jobs that you'd be interested in doing for us, that you're more than welcome.
Do you have any jobs headed towards the forest nearby?
I mean, regarding spider extermination.
Oh.
Oh yeah, didn't we hear about that in the tavern?
I'm going to nod and say yes, as if I did hear that.
You know,
Well,
maybe
this Rogier heard.
maybe you should get your ears checked.
She says as she kind of like taps your ear with her needle.
No. If the spider, I'm going to take notes on this. If the spiders are taken care of, how much is that willing to pay?
That would probably be 15 gold pieces per person. They're not normal spiders.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll bring back proof if we do.
So you're gonna take the job, is what you're saying?
Do we have to sign up for it here?
I mean, I just would like confirmation so that way I can take the job down.
Sure. Yes, we will take the job.
spiders bleed, right?
Yes, they bleed.
What? What? I mean, yeah, but... Never mind. He just gets up, goes over to the job board that's on the other side of the room, takes down the job offer regarding the spiders, and gives it to Rogier.
15 per. Yada yada yada. Okay. And he just folds it up and puts it in the same place that he forgets where he puts the map and stuff.
Oh gosh.
You sure you want to put it there?
Yes, it's not by your pearl, so it should be fine.
What I mean is, you normally forget things. Like, you anytime you put anything in that pocket, you forget about it.
Yes, it's almost like my pocket is Rolfer's home of residence. See what I did there? And he's like winking.
Rabia just looks unamused.
Right.
Okay, now to see some wings. And Remia, like, flies out.
Rogier will head out.
And the guard
I'm
looks over
gonna-
to Roper. I wish you and your party luck.
By chance, have you ever heard of a town called Nowhere?
Unfortunately not.
Alright. Also, did they bring back any of the clothes that I asked for by chance?
He kind of like holds up a finger, gets up, walks out of the office for a second. It takes him about a few minutes, but he comes back with like a folded up, raggedy looking robe, which you would recognize as the one the deathlock was wearing. They found this. Hands it to you.
Sweet, thank you. Never know when the extra clothes can come in handy.
Right. But besides that robe, there was nothing else clothes-wise that they found.
Alright. That will be all, I guess, then.
Have a good day.
You as well?
And the guard nods, like, watching you walk out, and when you walk out and close the door behind you, the guard kind of, like, flops in his chair, like, oh. So you all make it back outside, and Remia's, like, flying around Tarjine's head.
Okay, so, like, where are your wings?
All right, I will show. And he kind of gets out more into the middle of the street. And Remia would see his crystals starting to glow, and then from his back sprouts like ethereal wings of radiant energy. And then with like one big flap, shoots up into the air.
Whoa.
Yes, it's very nice. You can also hover as well.
How fast would you say you can go?
It is not. It's a similar speed to me being able to run.
Would you say you're faster than Remia?
We could find out.
Oh, you're on.
All right. And go. And he's gonna use a full dash action.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to outfly her pretty easily. She's a freaking pixie. Like,
What's her flying speed?
it's only like 10 feet. Max is 20.
I was about to say
What?
his normal speed is 30.
She
so
can fly 40!
Oh, I misread. Okay, hold on. Yeah,
Okay,
that was
so
walking. Okay, yeah, no,
it's-
she's
slightly faster. She can move 20 feet more per turn.
Could solve
Gotta
this with a
burn them
simple
wings.
acrobatics check.
I will
Times move speed.
acrobatics for tricks.
Times move speed.
Roll acrobatics. It is 6.
I mean, Remia rolled a 23 for acrobatics.
Well, we're right back where we thought we'd be.
He's used to his wings because he does not use them very often.
Tired from being in the armor.
Eat my pixie dust.
Why does your pixie dust taste like dirt?
I think that's actual dirt she's kicking up.
Tarhin will fly back to the guard post land as his wings dissipate.
Man, did you
Kinda
see how fast I was going, Rogier?
Yeah, quite impressive.
I've seen you go faster.
Oh, wait, no.
Remia looks at you, Rolfer,
Excuse me?
They're trying to make it seem like they've known you longer.
Are you sure you're the real Rogier?
Yes, I'm sure I'm the real Rogier.
Okay, what's my favorite food?
That's a toss-up.
It is sugar.
Wrong. See, the real Rogier would have known my favorite food. Disappointed.
I feel like the real Rogier might have skipped a few steps when he did things.
Okay, fair.
It's fine, Remia. What you're telling me is I need to know more about you. What does Remia want to do? What does she enjoy?
Killing things.
I don't know. I hear a voice in the wind. Tacos. Yes.
What is this taco you speak of?
Okay, so it's made of like a really like crunchy, like flour-ish shell, and you fill it with meat and vegetables and condiments, and it's super, super good.
So it is a sandwich.
No, it's not a sandwich. It's a taco. It's a completely different thing.
But in the sandwich, you get a form of bread or wrap, and then you put the meat and other vegetables inside, and you eat it.
It is not a sandwich.
I will have to see taco to be convinced.
Tacos are sandwiches, no. So Remia just shakes her head like,
I can't believe you don't know what tacos are.
I have not traveled far over in this area. I said I am from the freezy breezy north.
Yeah, I feel like there's not a lot of tacos up there.
No, there are walruses and whales and penguins.
You eat penguins?
Yes.
Pikachu shock face.
I have eaten penguins. I have eaten seals. I eat whatever I can find. One time I tried a polar bear. Did not taste good.
What are penguins?
They are birds that swim,
So they're like ducks.
but they don't fly.
What bird can't fly?
Penguin.
The flightless kind?
Never seen a flightless bird.
If we go and meet my dragon mother, you will see penguins.
Right, so I'm guessing we're going to be getting a good night's rest first before we head to this frigid Iceland.
I thought we were going to handle forests of spiders and or orcs first.
Orc spiders.
Orc spiders.
oh god, that's a sight.
Orc spiders. Fern looks terrified.
They're just mutating out there.
Well, I mean, I guess we don't need to rest unless some of us do.
I would like a nap, yes.
I really could use the rest.
Then we
Okay. Well, if we have to rest, then I suppose we should go back to the tavern.
To the
did pay
Hefty
for the
Dragon
room.
Inn. I paid for the rooms.
I paid for the rooms.
I paid for the rooms.
Are you sure you did?
I did not pay for the rooms.
Yes, I think I remember if I paid for the rooms or not.
Okay, we get it. The
Guys?
rooms were paid for.
Rogaire say what? What?
What?
I can't.
Again? Oh no!
So
I did not know.
I'm assuming all of you are heading back to the Hefty Dragon Inn.
Yes.
Perhaps I can find another person to play Go Fish with.
Oh no. So you all head back to the tavern. Tarjine, if you would like to roll a perception check for me. No reason.
Kimchi. It is 19.
So as you enter the tavern, excuse me, you do happen to see about a female halfling, sitting at a table playing some cards by herself. Excuse me, sorry.
Arheen kind of like slides his hand back through his scales, then they'll go play cards.
What are the rest of you up to?
Fern is gonna go straight to sleep because she is exhausted.
Alrighty.
Rogier will also go to sleep.
I am going to stay up. Just
Okay.
like I stare the whole time while the other Rogaire like...
Okay, you have to be the real Rogaire, because the real Rogaire doesn't like to sleep.
This is true. If you sleep, you're not killing things.
Exactly. But I mean, we're not
Okay,
killing things right now.
I am the one who is and killing the deathlock, and I am concerned with your need to kill.
Don't worry about it.
What do you mean concern? Do you want to help participate?
Yeah, I have no inhibitions of fighting. You know this. You have seen.
I seen you melt skeletons with your mouth. No, that was the kobold.
I've also I assisted in killing the boss one, the one that was holding the skeletons, by biting him. I mean, his head fell off. Out of character, Tarheen does not want to admit that did to him so bad.
Oh no. So roll for heads upstairs, Fern heads upstairs. Tarjine, you walk up to this halfling woman.
Hello?
She looks up at you, gets a little wide-eyed. Hello?
I see you are playing the cards. Would you be interested in a game?
Sure. Please, friend, take a seat.
I see. Do you know the very complicated and advanced game of Go Fish?
Yes?
Fantastic. What is your name?
My name is, Tanta Took. And you are?
My name is Tarheen. Tarheen Stonespell. And you have a beautiful name.
Oh, thank you. And she's kind of shuffling the cards and starts handing out the cards. Roger, what are you doing?
Not sleeping.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
I
sleeping.
drink
What
a
are you
couple
talking
more
about?
ales and yeah, just drinking some more ales.
I am slaying dragons in my sleep.
That is very rude.
I can't with chat right now. Anyway. So the barkeep goes up to you, Rogier. Not getting some sleep like the others.
No, I am proving a point.
And what point is that? She kind of gives you an ale.
That I am the real Roger, of course. And he starts chugging.
The real?
Yes, the real one. Didn't you see the other one that wasn't me? I am the real one.
No,
this poor barkeep is just like,
Oh, she's not paid enough for this.
And she just pats you on the shoulder. Right.
Are you related to Calamar?
Who?
Oh, never mind. Chugs more.
Could you imagine? Anyway. That, like, whole family's cursed. So, Tarjeen, Tanta lays out, he puts the deck on the middle of the table. She's got her cards. Roll me a sleight of hand, please.
Let us see. Oh, that is 16.
Okay. Oh, that was cocked. Alright, so, you guys go a round or two, and you manage to get a couple of books before she does.
Tanta, may I buy you a drink?
I mean, Sheriff, if you'd like.
I would.
So, I'm sorry, I have to ask, I don't see many of, your kind. What are you exactly?
I am what the humanoids have called a dragonborn. I was raised by my mother, a dragon. Although I have apparently grown up with more humanoid features compared to her. And I have elected to wander the world and learn more about it.
Raised by a dragon? I can't even imagine.
Well, she is very nice. She is a very nice mama.
What does your mother look like? I've never seen an actual dragon.
She is very large. She is I think they call it the ancient dragon. Her scales are they're white, but also many colors. There is iridescent colors. She can also breathe this radiant energy. And we live far in the north, away from the civilization.
Oh wow!
So I do not know-
you're from up north.
This is correct. Yes, I am from the freezy breezy north.
So the ice shores.
Yes, that is what they had said on the map. Yes.
Well, you're a long way from home.
Well, I wanted to travel since I had more humanoid form. I wanted to find out why, and to learn more. Mother was very insistent that I have proper education.
Oh. Tarjin, roll me another sleight of hand.
Oh no, I'm about to get beaten.
I feel like Rogaire is sitting like right next to Targent, and Sheila isn't catching any of the conversation going on.
Oh,
This
God.
is- Oh no, Tarhin has gotten 5.
So you play a couple more rounds, and she starts getting the upper hand. She also gets a couple books, so it's a tie right now.
Oh, you are so skilled in the ways of the goldfish. He is going to sip his drink, and he did offer to buy her a drink.
Okay. Barkeep will kind of walk over, probably just a couple copper for an ale.
Mhm.
Excuse me. But the halfling woman will thank the barkeep, and the barkeep goes back. So how long have you been on the road for?
I have been on the road for about. He starts counting on his fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. About 12 years now.
12 years.
I got lost. A couple times.
Oh dear.
Directions are not my strongest of suit. So it took a while to leave the north, and then to learn more of Common. I mostly only speak the language of dragons. And then I've also done a few quests here and there, learning more, trying to learn more about the cultures of the world.
That's impressive.
Thank you. It took about 5 years to learn how to speak Common. Before that, conversation was tricky.
Oh, I bet learning a new language isn't easy.
It was mildly stressful.
So, what's it like traveling? I've never. I've grown up in Mosswillow, and so I've never been outside of the town.
You have never traveled?
Oh no. I'm actually the apprentice of the smith here.
Oh, you are also Smith.
Yes.
I am also capable of the bending of metals. While traveling down to the south, I had met some northerners who taught me how to manipulate metal. They were short and had very big beards.
I'm assuming dwarfs?
I believe that is what they called it. But they showed me some basics of how to manipulate metals, which is why now I have. He gestures on his armor the runic symbols. I have learned to inscribe my magic onto my armor.
The Tonto looks at the runes on the armor. Is that giant?
Yes, they said these runes had very, very great power.
They do.
So I am able to control it. He holds up his staff as well, which has another one.
tell me more about your crafting skills. Go ahead and roll me a final sleight of hand.
That's just 4.
So you guys play the final rounds. She got a 14. So Tanta wins the Go Fish game.
Well then, Tanta, since you have won as a recompense, perhaps we can go back to your smithy, and I can teach you some tricks to the runes.
You know, I would like that very much.
Then it is, what do they say? Then it is dead.
She nods. When do you want to come by? I know it is getting rather late.
If you do not have any qualms of working at night, I do not mind showing you some tricks before bed. I know my comrades are interested in pursuing more quests tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, sure. We could go now.
If you are comfortable. I do not wish to.
No, absolutely. Come on. She gets up from her seat, grabs her hand, and starts trying to drag you out.
Tarhin smiles a little bit and just follows her.
Roll me perception check. No reason, of course.
Oh no.
Tarhin is putting on moves, you see.
Roger, you can roll perception check too.
Oh, I also do perception?
Yeah, Tarjane and Roger roll perception.
I'm perceptive for one.
I am not. I got the 6.
Oh no! So,
17.
Tarjane, you're preoccupied with Tanta kind of dragging you out of the tavern. Roger, however, you notice a little white stoat on your shoulder.
Would the real Roger let a creature on his shoulder or not? As he sips from his ale cup.
I don't know, would you?
I don't know now. I'm having to think about things that I would or wouldn't do naturally.
And you see as the stoat was watching Tarjane and he waves his little paw bye.
The worst part is I don't think he even noticed that Tarjane left. He just noticed that the stoat's on his shoulder.
I think with that high perception roll, you would see Tarjane kind of being let out by this halfling woman.
Oh, he'll do the bar lean and look. And then go back to the bar and finish his drink.
Oh gosh. So the rest of the night kind of goes by without a hitch. Roger, I'm assuming you eventually go to sleep.
Yes, after I finish my current drink.
And Tarjane, you spend a few hours with Tanta, showing her how to your forging techniques and showing her the runes and how to imbue magic within the runes and things like that. Spend a few hours there, and she does thank you for teaching her. And eventually you do go back to the tavern to get a good night's rest. So all of you can... Huh?
Out of her smithy, I gave her a kiss on cheek and say until next time, and then go back to bed.
Oh.
Oh. Tarhin moves.
So all of you do get a long rest. And I'm gonna have all of you roll initiative to see who wakes up first.
Oh, yeah. Nat 20 for a 23.
Oh gosh.
21.
20.
We're all just such early birds.
It is a solid 12.
Oh gosh. Okay. So, Rogier, you
Yes?
wake up. The real Rogier. Wakes up to
Of course,
this.
yes.
Wakes up to the sound of birds chirping outside his window. The sun is like starting to peek in through the room windows. And you feel like some of your hair being tugged as Remy is like,
Hey! Hey! Listen!
Oh,
Wake up!
no. Oh no.
if
Did
y'all
you
don't
just
get
listen
that.
me wake up me again?
Yeah? I'm pretty sure I was speaking common.
Are those birds still chirping?
Yes.
He's gonna open the window and fire off 2 Eldritch Blasts just in random directions. There, that's better.
No, roll to hit there, Rogier.
Hitting nothing. 19, and a 10.
So the first blast that goes off, you see a plume of feathers.
Oof.
And then the second one goes into a tree and the birds fly off.
There we go.
And there's
That's what
silence.
That's what I was trying to do. Good news is we can have bird for breakfast.
Oh no! And Remy is like, huh, nice shot.
Why are you waking me up again this early?
Cause we have spiders to kill? Duh.
I don't think they come out during the day.
I mean, the earlier we get up, the more things we can kill, so, like...
I mean, I just killed the bird, but I'm with you. Let's get ready and let's go. Is Kimchi in the room with us?
No, Kimchi's not in the room with you.
Okay. Oh no, where's Kimchi?
Oh, I was hoping you'd pick up on that. You don't see Kimchi anywhere.
Oh no, if I lose this dirt. Not even my pet. It's gonna grumble and get ready.
Oh gosh. Fern, my dear, my sweet bean child. You wake up around the same time that Rogier does. And you know, you're waking up, you're hearing the birds singing, and you're like, oh, that's so nice. And then all of a sudden you hear
Oh no.
you know, like at that part in Shrek where Fiona's like singing and the bird is just like floating, like bloating up and then blows
Oh
up.
no.
You just see a plume of feathers shoot out near your window.
She's gonna cover her mouth like, oh no. A poor bird.
Oh, Fern's like princess singing to him. And one just disintegrates.
And then you hear another and birds like cawing and flying away from the tree. And then silence. The only noise you probably hear is like the hustle and bustle of, you know, the street and people walking by.
Does Fern notice a stoat in her room?
Roll me investigation, please.
13.
Yeah, you see a little stoat curled up at the foot of your bed.
She's supposed to be with Tarheen. Going to get ready and she's going to pick up the little stoat and carry it out of the room.
Fern, my dear, roll me an animal handling.
Okay. 16.
Yeah, you're able to pick up the sleepy stoat that kind of like melts in your hand and walk out with it, no problem. Rolfer. Just like Fern, you wake up to the sound of birds chirping, and all of a sudden a couple explosions and some feathers fly by your window. What would you like to do?
I just guess head downstairs to try and figure out what was going on.
Alright, so, you get dressed and get ready and head on out. Tarjine, you are just woken up to the sounds of a couple of eldritch blasts that go off outside your window.
It is strange sounds of many explosions. He's looking at the window. What is going on?
You look out your window and you don't see anything. You only see, like, maybe a couple feathers kind of, like, float by.
This is... Oh, okay. There does not seem to be anything going on.
Also, you notice a lack of stoat in your room.
Gets out of the bed and gets dressed.
So, Rogier, Fern, you head downstairs about the same time. And the tavern floor is, pretty quiet. I mean, breakfast is being served. The barkeep kind of smiles at the both of you. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
I hope the beds were to your liking.
And just nods.
And I'm going to roll something right quick. Barkeep, nods. Did you guys hear those explosions a few moments ago?
Yes, I did. She looks kind of disturbed.
Can't say that I have. Rogier came down shirtless, and once they're talking, he's gonna like tap his chest and cast mage armor, and you'll watch as like the armor he has in the picture starts to formulate over his upper body.
All right. And the barkeep's like, huh. I wonder what that explosion was then. Hopefully it wasn't nothing too serious.
Yes, you wouldn't want any noise complaints.
I can't afford that. Well, is there anything I can get you all started for breakfast today?
Sausage.
You're not downstairs yet.
I'll just have some fruit and maybe a little bit of meat for Tarhin's stoat friend.
I will have whatever Rimia is having, because that's what friends do.
Oh, leave all the decisions to me, why don't ya? I don't mind some bacon, eggs, and bread.
Ah, that could have been a good guess last night.
I mean, it's not like my favorite food.
Rogier may or may not be scribbling something out that he just wrote down.
Oh gosh. Barkeep kind of nods. All right, I'll get all your food ready, and should be about a few minutes. Please go ahead and take a seat and take a load off.
A load off.
It means to relax.
I know what it means. Did you sleep well, Fern?
Well
Changes
enough.
the subject.
Was a little hard to sleep being away from home.
So this is your first time, like, venturing away?
Yes, it's not common for my people to leave the village. Normally stay in the village, but I was sent here because of the strange going-ons in the forest.
Isn't it like a freeing experience to leave home?
So I find it rather terrifying.
Oh, girl.
Terrifying.
I'm not used to being around other people aside from those in my village. It's a strange experience to meet new people.
I mean, you're not afraid of us, are you?
I know, but I'm still a bit nervous.
Huh.
I mean, they say it's better to be nervous than dead, right? Oh, wait. Gotta judge the crowd. Right.
I mean, I thought it was funny.
Yes, but our sense of humor is a bit skewed.
I don't see anything wrong with our sense of humor.
As Fern's probably looking like...
She's just quietly watching them, getting a little more nervous while she pets the stove.
You're not afraid of us, right?
So, around this time, Rolfer and Tarjeen would be coming down.
I say good morning. There you are, Kimchi.
Kimchi is still passed out in Fern's hands, just like melted into her hands, like snoring.
At least he is not causing trouble.
I found him in my room this morning.
Oh, that makes sense.
The barkeep notices you, Tarjeen, and Rolfer, kind of calls over. Oh, don't worry, darlings. I'll be just over and to take your order here in a minute.
Okay.
No worries. Take your time.
Rogaire is never as polite.
That is true.
Wait, I'm not?
I mean, who needs manners?
Rogaire's starting to second guess if he's the real Rogaire.
It's my way or the highway.
Have we mentioned how good of an influence you are, Remia?
I'm a great influence.
Ah, right. Well, you and Fern should have, like, a girls' day or something.
A girl's day?
Yes. It's where the girls hang out with each other and do girl things. Or female things.
And Remia looks over to Fern.
You want to, like, throw axes with me sometime?
Ooh.
Axes? That sounds dangerous.
Oh, no, it's so fun. You get your frustrations out, you know? You just pick up an axe and you just take the axe and you're just like, rah! And you throw it at the target.
I guess I could give it a try.
That's the spirit.
Oh,
You even hold an axe?
I've never used an axe before.
Oh, so this will be a great experience for you.
If you say so.
Why was that the first activity you wanted to try out, Remia?
Does it not sound like fun, Rogier?
I mean,
It
it's one of
does.
those you work your way up to it.
No, it's either go big or go home. Duh.
Hmm.
Barkeep comes back with Rogier and Fern's plates along with Remia's, and she looks over to Rolfer and Tarjine. What can I get you two this morning?
Do you have any tacos?
Unfortunately, and Remia's like, oh,
Do you have tacos? Please tell me you have tacos.
sorry, I don't have, tacos. Remia's cheeks kind of puff up a bit in anger.
Phooey. Now I
Uh,
don't
Ro-
want the bacon and eggs.
Rogier takes like a piece of the bread and like shoves some eggs in it and then shoves some bacon in it and like rolls it. He's like, ha! Makeshift taco.
That actually looks more like a burrito, Rogier.
It's such a strange sandwich.
It's not fully wrapped.
Looks fully wrapped to me.
Fine, I'll unfully wrap it. See here.
Barkeep's just like, right, you two, looking at Rolfer and Tarjine as she has the notebook and pen ready to take your orders.
Would like large plate of meat and eggs.
All right, and yes, unfortunately we don't have tacos. Is there anything else I could get you?
How about Cocoa Puffs?
What are Cocoa Puffs? This barkeep's not paid enough for this.
Right? She's gonna be like, and I quit.
There's these little chocolate delectable ball things that you pour in milk. This is very nutritious.
Doesn't sound very nutritious. They let you eat that for breakfast.
Only if they have it.
I unfortunately don't have that.
Let me go check in the bag for puffed chocolate.
I mean, I've got some bacon, eggs, some dried lamb, some porridge. I got vegetables, fruits.
Just surprise me then.
Okay. And she'll walk out, head to the kitchen.
I think she needs to have a better inventory.
Agreed. Like, no tacos, no nothing? Really?
It's despicable. Everywhere should have tacos.
Talk about it.
Maybe you two should open a taco stand.
Yes.
We'll call it the Real Rogier Tacos.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, I am obviously the real Rogier.
I feel like that's debatable based on perception, but
Okay, so like, after we eat and everything, are we gonna head out?
to the woods?
Look for my house? My home? Town?
Ah, you are not the real rogue here. Actually, I don't know where my house is either.
Exactly.
You didn't know that.
I can't. Uh, Remia kind of raises a brow.
Oh no, I was talking about the desert. Yes, the freaking forest! We have spiders to squash.
Orc spiders, you mean?
Orc spiders.
I don't
really-
remember.
Really hope orc spiders aren't a real thing.
It'll be fine, Fern. We will just kill them before they do their orc spider thing, which I imagine involves a lot of acidic, poisony spray stuff.
And squash them like the bugs they are.
Yes, they shoot their webs, you get sticky, and then they kill you because they are also part orc.
It's sticky.
Poor Fern.
She got the most chaotic party out of all the people that she can hang out with.
I can't, y'all.
What are you talking about? Drogir is a great party member.
Touche.
Tarhin is the best partner.
Oh my gosh. So eventually the bartender does come back and she sets down plates for Tarjeen and Rolfer. And she even has a little plate for your stout friend. Here you are.
Yes, how much do we owe?
She kind of looks at the lot of you. It's on the house. Enjoy.
Eh? On the house, but it is here in front of us.
And Rebby is like,
She means we don't have to pay anything, dum-dum.
I know what she meant. Rogier did not know what she meant.
and the bartender kind of smiles at the lot. It's just my way of saying thank you for taking care of the undead
Bird
problem.
problem?
The what?
Nothing. Nom 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 nom.
Moving bones.
I thought it was the entertainment.
Fern is just taking deep breaths, deep calming breaths.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
This is the first episode, y'all.
Fern, would you like me to play you a song to help you calm down?
Oh no.
I've been told that I'm pretty good at music, so
Do you play music?
that is a good question.
Rogier is...
Do you enjoy music?
I'm gonna change back into the bard.
Ah,
Oh, he's back into the satyr.
there we go. I feel so much better now.
I can play if you want. Well, try at least.
Fern, you do recall seeing the satyr yesterday performing, and you do recall that he performed very well.
Wish, and it's not too much trouble.
So, Rolfer, what instrument is Jackius going to be playing today?
It's the voice.
Just the voice, okay. Roll me a performance check.
Oof.
Oh, my Cocoa Pubs!
I hope you feel me just rubbing my temples right now. First session, y'all. First session. So, you all watch as this satyr starts singing. You remember the seagull from My Little Mermaid?
Oh no.
Oh god,
Yeah.
Scuttle.
That is rough, buddy.
Ern regrets everything, but she's too nice to say anything, so she's just trying to bear with it, and she's like slowly clapping, like.
Oh, we're all dead.
Is singing, and one of the patrons is just like, "Oi! Don't quit your day job!"
You know, I can get rid of this bird for you.
Yep, that
DM.
that concludes the one shot race against Qushar. There'll be no more episodes after this. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my god, I can't. But yeah, the patrons in the bar are kind of starting to boo at you and are telling you basically to shut up. Because they're
Oh,
trying.
hey. If that was me, you wouldn't be booing. Quiet, yous.
And let's see you do a better job.
Yeah, if anybody's gonna make fun, it's gonna be at this table. Get your ears checked.
Well, I mean, you see as one of the patrons gets up from the bar and he starts to sing.
Oh no.
I kid you not, he got a 15. So his singing is so much better than Rolfer's.
Well, I mean, he's only warming up.
Oh no.
Practice some.
Morning voice.
Why
I
don't you
haven't
roll
had
me?
my Cocoa Puffs.
Right? That's what we're singing about over here.
Roll me another performance check, please.
Hey!
Oh,
Hey!
suck it, NPC number
21.
3.
Alright, so you, like, clear your throat, Rolfer, and you start singing, and it is 1,000 times better than the first try. The patron who was singing before immediately, like, shuts up. Obviously being outperformed by you. And the patrons actually are now starting to enjoy your song about this Cocoa Puffs. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So, is there anything else y'all would like to do at this point in time?
After Jackius finishes, and you can listen to more of that at the Real Rogares, also offering tacos.
Oh my gosh.
Ern has her hand visibly over her face right now.
We're like a traveling band, Fern. It's fine.
Traveling band?
Yeah, we sell tacos. Actually, we can throw tacos at the crowd.
Traveling noisemakers.
Hmm?
That
I can
make
use
the
my
crowd
catapult.
Angry?
A catapulted taco?
3d8 delicious damage.
If everyone's done eating, perhaps we should.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, right. Orc spiders.
Oh my gosh. All right. So you all finish up eating, get ready to go, and that's where we're going to end session for today. Oh my gosh, that was crazy, y'all.
Our input on all the moves, yes.
So
It's
I
only
guess
gonna get worse.
Oh god. So I guess we will go ahead and roll our winner for today's giveaway.
Yes, let me do that.
And drum roll, please. Nordic Geek, you have won the giveaway today. Congratulations. Please message myself or Judgy DM on Discord, and we will
Or
get
do
those...
the mom thing and like message both of us, but don't tell us, and see if we catch it.
But yes, so be sure to shoot us a message. We'll get a mailing address from you and ship those out to you. But for those of you who have stopped by, thank you guys so much for God listening in on the chaos. And I'm trying to think. We do have another show that's going to be airing later tonight.
Oh yes, at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Yes, we will continue our adventure with the Fate of Ukador at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, so please be sure to stop in and say hello. But for now, I am Queen Corby, our lovely Dungeon Master. This is Crosif, my co-Dungeon Master.
Nah.
And we will see all of you next time. So take care, y'all.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you later.
Call.
Dahin, finish it.